2018, XAT had essay writing that was there from the last 20 years. I mean, I've been following the exam, right, like CAT, 20, 25 years, we have been following XAT also. And every year, there used to be a essay writing in XAT. 2018, there was a regular essay writing that used to happen. In 2019, when the XAT suddenly went online and things like that, then they scrapped the essay writing and just continued with the GK section. Now, this year, after 3 years, they have reintroduced it. So again, it's just like you say, it is an, the phrase, it's an old wine in a new bottle. And so that essay writing has reappeared as a ghost in our lives, and actually not a ghost, a reality. Just giving you a few tips, 5 tips that you should take care of and you should remember when you are writing your XAT essays. So for any kind of essay writing, now see this, the exam as it is going to be, you'll be given around 10 minutes to write an essay. So it will not be more than 200 or 300 words, cannot be. All right. So when you're talking about 200 to 300 words, you have to be very, very crisp and precise in the kind of language you are using, in the kind of sentences you are creating to write. So that is the first tip number one. So you can't be very verbose and you just can't beat around the bush. You have to come straight away to the point. You know? So that is one very, very important thing that you have to remember. The second thing is the structure of the essay. Now, there can be two kinds of structures of the essay, although internally the matter will be the same. So let me first talk about the structure of the essay. If it says write a few points or write an essay about this particular topic, then in that case, you will go with the normal essay format, which is a 3-paragraph format. So a tri-paragraph format in which the first paragraph, which will be a couple of lines, which is talking about the introduction body, the main body, which is comprising of the description of that topic, and then finally we will come to the conclusion. So your essay will be divided into 3 paragraphs. Yes, me and my backpack, this was that 2017 topic that you're talking about. I'll come to that also. Okay. So let me first finish the basic thing that I have to talk about. Right. So, so we were talking about the structure of the essay. So first thing was that you have to come straight away to the point, because it will be a short essay, not more than 200 or 300 words. And the second point that I was talking about was the structure of the essay. So the structure of the essay has to be a 3-paragraph format. The introduction, the main body, and the conclusion. The introduction is just talking, when you start the topic, you broach the topic. The main body is analyzing the situation, analyzing the topic, wherein you talk about the pros and cons, you give examples, etc. And the last part is going to conclude the topic. Sometimes the topics are, open-ended, they can't be concluded. So in that manner, you just give a suggestion for the future and you move on. Okay, so this is the structure. Now, the third tip that I want to talk about now here is that when sometimes it says write a paragraph on this particular topic or this particular issue. See, the inside structure will be the same. You will still have the same introduction, main body, and conclusion, but you will not divide it into paragraphs. The whole thing will be in a single paragraph. The internal matter will be the same. Okay. So it's like in our body, we have the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, and the lower part of our body. And if the human being was put inside a box, we would just be a square thing, but inside the box, we will still be the head and the thorax and the abdomen, and everything would still be there. So it's just like that. So if it says write a paragraph, you just box this whole thing into the paragraph. The internal structure remains the same. You just don't change paragraphs, means you just don't change lines. You put a full stop and keep on writing. So that is the structure. Okay, so that is the third point. Then we come to the fourth point, the fourth tip, which is the topic. So you have to see whether it's a general topic. So then avoid very specific examples. You have to give a generalized thing. So poverty is a something, it's a curse on mankind. Now this kind of a topic is a general topic. So you can't just talk about poverty in India, right? You will talk about poverty in general if it is saying poverty is a curse on mankind. Whereas if it's a specific topic, poverty in India, then straight away come to how the Indian economy or the poor people in India, why is poverty still there after so many years of independence? And just come straight to the point and talk about it. So this is the general versus specific topic. And then there is the uh, we have a topic which has you have to make a decision, whereas something is good or bad or right, also this versus this, between two things. So what would you be, a doctor or an engineer? So then in that case, don't say I want to be an engineer or I want to be a doctor, or medical is a better profession or engineering is a better profession. What you do is you build up both the things. You talk about medical as a profession, you talk about, sorry, medicine as a profession, you talk about engineering as a profession, and then you give your conclusion at the end, right? Talk about the pros and cons of both. So that is a topic in which you have to make a choice. Okay. And then the fourth topic is an abstract topic. Now, an abstract topic is something in which you have to do a lateral thinking. You have to think out of the box. You have to build the topic. So when you build the topic, you have to talk about all the nuances. So if you have, uh, blue is a four-lettered word. So blue is a four-lettered word, and now how do you think about it? So blue is the sky, and blue is the sea, and blue is also a word that may be describing me when I'm very sad. All right, so here your introduction starts. You've already had the three-pronged approach. You've taken blue into three parts, and blue is also my favorite color. When the blue jeans was my favorite pair of jeans in my wardrobe when I was a youngster. And blue is the color of the eyes of, you can talk about anybody whom you like or whatever. And the sapphire also shines blue. So when I'm feeling blue, I like to listen to the blues, which may not be my original song's choice. So, you start developing it and then you start closing it. And when you start closing it, you encompass it in your conclusion. So, blue may mean many things to many people, but to me, uh, I like to drive my blues away and think about more positive things. My Sometimes my pink also seems blue. So you can, in an abstract topic, you can build a story, you can do lateral thinking, you can think out of the box, and talk about anything, but it should make sense. It can be nonsensical also sometimes, as long as you are in control of what you're doing. So that is the beauty of an abstract topic. So if you are, kind of into literary writing and poetry and all, so an abstract topic would be wonderful for you. But even those people who cannot think so much out of the box, just write whatever comes to your mind. An abstract topic will not have a right or wrong interpretation. You can go with your own interpretation. Okay, so yes, lucid program is saying I was in blue house in school. Yeah, so you can write that also if nothing strikes you. And you can write that I was the captain of my team, which we used to be wearing the blue uniform. So the men in blue, the Indian cricket team, the men in blue, right? So as they were called, that was your favorite team. So anything. So that is what is an abstract topic. All right. So this was your fourth point, which is talking about the four kinds of basic topics that come. And then we come to the fifth tip, which somebody was asking me, that if we don't know what the topic means. Now, globalization and jingoism coexist. This was the 2017 XAT topic. Now, in a topic like that, if you don't know globalization, all of us know, right? When you think of yourself as part of a global citizen, when your economy is dealing with the world economy, you are not having a closed economy, and you are involving, your country is getting investments from outside. Globalization is obviously opening up your economy, so liberalization and globalization would go hand in hand. But jingoism is something that you did not know. So globalization and jingoism coexist. Now, jingoism basically means uh, when you are too obsessed with something to the point of being very fanatical about it. So that is what is jingoism. So now look at us under Donald Trump. uh, some say he was a great leader, some say he was a very bad leader. We'll not be opinionated whether he was good or bad, but jingoism could be seen in his attitude, in the way he had stopped all outsiders from getting any kind of jobs. especially from third world countries, especially from underdeveloped and developing countries like India and Southeast Asia and Africa. He had stopped anybody like that getting a green card or getting a job. The spouses of people who had migrated, who had come, they could not get jobs because he wanted to just protect everything for his country. Some people say it was very good, and some people disliked it. So it's an extreme form of being a fanatic. What ISIS is doing all over the world, especially now in Afghanistan, is also a concept of jingoism. So that is being an extreme fanatic about any ideology, anything that you're going to follow. Yes, extreme kind of nationalism, exactly. That is what we can talk about. Sometimes our Indian leaders also exhibit that. So you don't. So you have to talk about how it is actually happening. Now, if you did not know what it meant, or God forbid, if it happens in 2022 that they come up with a word like this, then what do you do? Now, I had one student who gave the XAT 2017. I specifically remember he was a student for Connaught Place Center, Delhi, and he got a call from the XAT, but he had not written the essay, sadly, because he did not know what was the meaning of the word jingoism. So he did not write the essay at all. Please don't make that error. You write, even if you know half of the essay, even if you know just the globalization part, please write about globalization. All right. See, the essay writing and the GK section, which are the part two of your exam, they are considered for the interview. There is no negative in your essay or your GK. So even if you get your essay all wrong, there will be no negative marking. You will not just get those extra marks that you would have got for your essay. Okay, so mind it, be very, very careful. Don't leave the essay, because that child left the essay and he was not selected, sadly. So please don't make that error. And when you go to the interview, obviously they'll know that you did not understand the topic if you have just written about half the topic. But please write something. That is going to be my suggestion here. Definitely write something about the essay. So don't write in the essay that I don't know the topic. You write anything that comes to your mind, something decent, something which makes sense to you, at least, about it. And in the interview, they will obviously know that you never understood the topic. So they are going to ask you whether you understood. Did you really understand? What have you written in your essay? And then you have to back it up by saying that, sir, I'm very sorry, I did not know the meaning of that word. And that is absolutely fine. Jingoism is not something that we're using in our day-to-day lives. We are not native English speakers. So if you did not know the word, even your interviewers who's there will not know all the words of English, and even I don't know it, and even the native speakers also don't know so many words. So not to worry about it. Okay, so just write whatever makes sense to you in that case. And then this another thing that I'm talking about is what we call in Hindi the jugaad or the tactics that you could use. Some students in that exam, they ask the invigilator what this word jingoism means. So actually, many students in many centers asked. Some invigilators were kind enough to Google the word and tell them the meaning. If you have something happening like that, please take advantage of it. Okay, but it may or may not happen. So that is something that I can't promise that your invigilator will be kind enough. But if you see that the guy is friendly and people are asking, you can take a chance. Okay, so obviously that is something which may or may not work in your favor. But please do write something. That is something which is very, very important. All right. So it's actually not a new Jugaad Hanumant. People have used it in 2017. I'm just repeating what has happened. It's of it has historical precedence, as you say. So that is how you you know do your essay writing. And then what you can do is just Google the last 20 years essays that have come in the XAT, and just think of the points that you would. So you start off with the introduction, the main body, and in the main body you are analyzing, you're giving examples, and then you finish off the topic with a conclusion. That is how you go about it, just like a very, very normal essay writing, which we used to do in school. No need of using very fancy words, no need of using jargons, or we are not, they have taken the test of your English language in the VARC paper. Even if you are not using fancy words and concepts, it's okay. Even if you are not giving data and facts and numbers, that's still fine. Your GK, they have tested in the GK section. All right, your essay writing is basically to see how you can analyze an issue and talk about it in a mature manner. So, they have just reintroduced it because they want to reduce the interview timing. When you go for the final selection, they've already seen how you analyze a topic. So they might not have the GD round, they might straight have the interview round after this paper. So that is something that they want to look at. Okay, so instead of your group discussion, instead of your written ability test, they have reintroduced the GK and the essay writing. That is what it is. So nothing to worry about it. Just go with a plain mindset, with a very, very, cool mindset, and approach the topic in a normal manner, analyze it and write about it. Don't be overly negative or too much in extreme. If it's a negative topic, be realistic about it, talk about the negatives that are there with an optimistic point of view. So that is something that you have to focus on. Okay, and together with it, then also quotations, etc. So a lot of people use very fancy quotations, but see, if you're writing 200 words, please don't use more than one quotation. Okay, because otherwise you are just using borrowed knowledge, as they say. Okay, so that is something that you should see. Please don't use too many quotations and idioms and borrowed things. Use what you want to say, use your style, that will be the best. Word limit is strict, please. Word limit not more, 5 words plus minus. So if they are saying 200 words, Jane Austen, either 195 or 205. So if you're writing a full sentence, you can't, and it's not a pressy writing. Pressy writing mein to draw your columns and make 200 words ka column. But in an essay writing, 5 minutes plus minus, 5 words, sorry, plus minus are allowed. Okay, so it can be 195, 198, 200, 201, 2, 3, 4, 5, not more than that. Make sure. They also want to see how much disciplined you are. So are you taking, like, even in your forms, when you are writing the form filling, you will have to keep the word limit in mind when they have specified. You have to respect that. Okay.